In 1917, one of the most powerful empires on Earth collapsed, not because of a foreign invasion, but because its own people had finally had enough. This is the story of the Russian Revolution, a moment that didn't just shake a nation, it changed the world forever. At the start of the 20th century, Russia was ruled by one man, Tsar Nicholas II. He held absolute power. There was no real democracy, no political freedom to speak of, and for millions of people, life was a daily struggle in deep poverty. The vast majority of Russians were either peasants toiling in the fields or factory workers crammed into cities. They worked grueling, long hours for very little pay and lived in terrible, often squalid conditions. Food was becoming scarce, and with every hungry stomach, the anger was rising. From the outside, the empire might have looked strong and imposing, but on the inside, it was cracking under the pressure. Then came World War I, and it pushed the empire to its breaking point. Russia was completely unprepared for a conflict of this scale. Millions of soldiers were sent to the front lines with poor weapons, inadequate supplies, and weak leadership. Defeats piled up one after another, and back home, the food shortages grew even worse. The people needed someone to blame, and their anger was directed squarely at the Tsar. By February 1917, the tension finally exploded. Protests erupted in the capital city of Petrograd. What began as simple bread riots quickly swelled into massive demonstrations demanding change. Soldiers were ordered to fire on the crowds and restore order, but a shocking thing happened. Many refused. Instead of suppressing the protests, they laid down their arms and joined them. With his own army turning against him, Tsar Nicholas II had no choice left. He abdicated the throne. After more than 300 years of rule, the Romanov dynasty was over. The Russian Empire had fallen. A new provisional government quickly took control, and for a moment, people hoped for a better future. They dreamed of peace, food, and freedom. But the new government made one fatal mistake. It decided to keep Russia in the war. While the government struggled to maintain control, a radical revolutionary leader returned from exile. His name was Vladimir Lenin. He understood what the people desperately wanted, and he promised them three simple things: peace, land, and bread. His message resonated deeply with the exhausted and frustrated population. In October of 1917, Lenin and his party, the Bolsheviks, made their move. They stormed key government buildings in a coordinated and swift takeover. The provisional government collapsed almost overnight. Power had changed hands, this time violently and decisively. But the revolution didn't end the violence. Instead, it triggered a brutal civil war. The Red Army, led by the Bolsheviks, fought the White Army, a loose coalition of their opponents, for total control of Russia. The conflict was devastating. Millions died not just from the fighting, but from the widespread famine and disease that followed. By 1922, the Bolsheviks emerged victorious from the ashes of the Civil War. Russia was transformed into the Soviet Union, the world's very first communist state. A new, formidable global power had been born, built on a completely different ideology. The Russian Revolution completely reshaped global politics for the rest of the century. It inspired other revolutions around the world, directly fueled the decades-long Cold War between the East and West, and fundamentally changed how nations viewed the relationship between power, ideology, and the people. This one revolution didn't just change Russia, it changed the course of modern history. But it leaves us with a fascinating question. Was the revolution truly inevitable, or could Russia's vast empire have been saved? Let us know what you think in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the history that shaped our world. Thanks for watching.